Hello, I'm Professor Lieu. Welcome to our live stream. Today, I am going to be doing part 2 of mixing flush tones to create a palette knife painting of a self-portrait. If you would like to grow as an artist and you can't afford an art class, we've got everything you need here at Art Prof: critiques, tutorials, and professional development. As I said, this is part 2, and you can go back and watch part 1, where I lay down the foundation for this palette knife painting. And what we're really going to be focusing on today is value of the colors and also saturation. We're going to get a lot more specific. And I want to say thank you very much to Winsor & Newton for providing the water mixable oil paints that I'll be using in the stream today. Let's just get started mixing some colors, because the way I generally start when I have a brand new palette, totally clean, is I just like to mix a base tone, a foundation for me to base everything else upon. Ugh, there's like a hair in my paint, gross. And I'm going to use, I have titanium white and I also have zinc white. I'm going to use more zinc white today. Titanium tends to be a little bit harsher than the zinc. And for my skin tone's sort of olivey. But what I find is that it's easier to start with a mixture that is a little bit brighter and a little bit more saturated, and then I can always go back and tone it in. One thing to think about, guys, especially with oil paint, just paint in general, if you think about it, the more you mix, the more you put your brush in all of these different mixtures, the more likely it is for things to just get muddier and muddier. So my feeling is that it's easy to get muddy. It's easy to get colors that become more and more muted, and things just naturally do that. So my feeling is that it is better to start with colors that are maybe just a little bit too much, and then they will naturally become less saturated. That's assuming you're doing the work and really mixing, not just doing one color at a time. Okay, and let me mix a very basic shadow tone. For that, I'm going to take a little hunk of this, start another pile. I would say if I squint and I look at the shadows, everybody do this with me. If you guys are painting along, really look. It's very purpley today. It's very, very cool. Like, I see very little warm tones. Like, I see there's a reflected light on my chin, but here on my cheekbone, it's pretty purple. So what I'm going to do is do French ultramarine and a little bit of alizarin. And again, this is the approximation, guys. This is not about like nailing that color. This is like the base color, and then you tweak from there. I think sometimes people think they have to do it all in one shot, but you don't. You do one thing at a time, and then you can always tweak. Because I just find it hard to have to mix 16 colors. It's a little too much. Okay. It's probably too purple, but I'm just going to leave it because I'll eventually go in and fix that later. And actually, guys, I really want to try this impasto medium that Winsor & Newton sent me. So I'm just going to take a little chunk of this and put it into the shadow. I'm just curious. I have no idea if this is going to be helpful or not. Oh, interesting. It's like see-through. Okay. Because I've done enough with the water mixable oils that I do feel like I'm ready for that. Oh, it's not as slippery as the paint. Oh, you guys, I really like this. Oh my God, it feels more like traditional oil paints. Oh, oh my God, I love this stuff. Oh my God, why did I not use this sooner? Ooh, I love it when I discover something new. Actually, let me put a little bit in here too, because I suspect it might be different depending on the colors that you have. So I'm just going to put a little chunk of the impasto medium. But this is what it's called. It's impasto medium, and it's made specifically for water mixable oils. I've gotten a lot of questions. People are saying, well, I have water mixable oils, but I have regular linseed oil that I typically use with traditional oil paints. Can I use that with my water mixable oils? I don't know precisely. I'm not a manufacturer, so only they can really decide for you. But my feeling is that there's probably a reason why they make mediums just for water mixable oils. If there wasn't a reason to do that, they probably wouldn't bother. So my feeling is that you probably just want to stay with the same product line, because I have a feeling that there's probably a reason why they do that. Okay, guys, it's time for some self-critique. And what I'm going to try to do is make a game plan. And my first game plan, I want everybody to do this with me. Think about a figurative painter that you want to try to emulate, not copy like a master copy, but just to think about how do they use color. Now, if you can't think of anybody, you can use Lucian Freud, because that's who I'm going to use today. So Lucian Freud, I'm going to type the name into the chat. Lucian Freud was a British contemporary artist, and he just passed away fairly recently, but his palette, it's not that saturated, but it has a billion shifts of color. And what I don't like about my painting, I think I went way overboard in value with some of these pinks. And I think I need to brighten up the whole thing. And I want to make the image just feel more luminous and more subtle. I feel like I sort of went over the top here. Value-wise, I think I'm okay. These are still a little bit dark. But the thing I like about Lucian Freud is that the colors shift without you even knowing that they're shifting. Like, he just does so many little patches of color. So what I'm going to do, actually, there's a lot of cool light. I'm using light from the window, which is natural light, and that's very, very cool. Actually, I'm going to mix two highlights, okay? This highlight, I'm going to do a little touch of cerulean blue. And guys, make sure you're cleaning your palette knife. If you don't clean your palette knife, you're in big trouble. I'm going to do one that has like a little touch of yellow, because again, I don't really like using white straight out of the tube. It just tends to look very, very pasty. And again, some of the impasto medium. And I will stop and look at the chat every now and then. So if you guys have questions, just put them in the chat and I will get to that eventually. Not ignoring you. Guys, I really like the impasto medium. It's so good. It gives the paint a certain degree of body because it's so much thicker. I guess I was worried it was going to be a little bit too juicy, but I'm loving this stuff. I know there are many, many brands of water mixable oils. I definitely want to try other brands in addition to Winsor & Newton. I have a set of Cobras that I'm going to do. Royal Talons make some. But for now, I'm just trying to get used to the Winsor & Newton. And until I have that, I think I'm going to stick with them for a little bit. Oh, I love this impasto medium. It feels really beefy. Oh, I love this. Why did I not try that sooner? Okay. Adjunct says, Prof has the same shirt on. You know what? I woke up this morning and I was like, oh my God, do I still have that shirt? Is it in the wash? You have to have that consistency, because you know what? If I wore a green shirt today, would totally change the color scheme. When you guys think about colors, you really have to think about them as a group. Don't think about colors one by one. Don't say, all right, you're wearing a magenta shirt, let's just mix that magenta. You have to look at the magenta and you say, well, what does the magenta look like compared to the background? And so changing the shirt would completely throw off the entire color scheme, and I'd have to totally rearrange the way that I painted everything else. Sandrine is asking about the impasto medium. Yes, this is basically to thicken the paint. Impasto basically means when you paint with very, very thick paint. It's where the paint on the surface of the canvas, it's almost three-dimensional. And Lucien Freud, the artist that I was talking about earlier, he did a ton of impasto painting. So if you guys go and you see a Lucien Freud painting in person, you can really see the paint. It's very, very substantial. Mel is asking, is the impasto quick drawing? I'm not sure. It says on the back, oh, stiff, quick drawing, non-yellowing medium designed for artisan oil color. Okay, well, I don't know how fast they mean. I mean, these oil paints, I think they take about 4 days to dry. To me, they dry faster than traditional oil paints, but again, it depends on the colors, it depends on the brand. So Julia is saying, what is the purpose of impasto? It's basically to build up body in the paint. And honestly, you guys, it's really a matter of personal preference, because I know some people like to paint very thin. That's more my style. I know some people really like to make it thick. I'm not like that most of the time, but I just wanted to try it as a material and just see. Yuki says, I used acrylic once with water on a canvas, couldn't make any layers because the water always dissolved the previous ones. Any tips about using acrylic on canvas? That's strange, Yuki. That should not be the case. That would happen with gouache, but that should not happen with the acrylic. I mean, I wonder if it's something about the brand you were using. Yeah, that's strange. Shazia says, can you please tell me if using a layer of turpentine mixed with oil paint is a good approach for a base layer? Depends on what you're trying to do. I think a lot of people, if you're using traditional oil paints, you do want to follow the concept of fat over lean, which means that you begin the painting thinner and then you can progressively get thicker and thicker. That's the concept. Like in oil painting, if your first layer is super thick and then you put a very thin layer on top, it can cause cracking. But yeah, that's something I would think about. Okay, let's get into this. I'm going to warn you guys, half today's stream is going to be me squinting. You have to look so carefully to see color. It's not something you can do quickly. Squinting. I think I want to just increase the brightness. I think in general, this is just value-wise. These sections here, they're just all too dark. Yeah. So I'm just going to go in. Well, first of all, let me just see how this blue looks. I mean, that's pretty bright. I'm just going to take this blue and I'm just going to stick it all around, because I think last time when I started adding the blue, the paint was really getting wet and I was having trouble doing that. So I'm just going to go around and beef up the blue. This is a pretty good way to do it, you guys. If you go around and you apply one color over the whole thing, you make sure that the color stays cohesive. So a color isn't, for example, just in one spot. It's in multiple places. Things usually look weird when they're just in one spot. So this is going to help me with contrast and a sense of light. Yeah, like over here, I really just lost this whole section. So everybody, do that self-critique with me. Tell me in the chat, who is a figurative painter who you can just keep at the back of your mind today as far as technique? Because I was thinking, well, there's also Jenny Saville, brilliant contemporary British painter. Let me put Jenny Saville's name in the chat. Okay, so the person I talked about before was Lucien Freud. There's also Jenny Saville. And if you guys look up both of those artists, you'll see that they're related. They both have that painterly look to them. But Jenny Saville's color scheme is way more severe in terms of contrast and saturation. Lucien Freud is very, very subtle. Okay, so I'm looking here. My cheekbones are pretty cool, but I see quite a bit of pink here. I think I still need to build, well, I don't know. I feel like I didn't get remotely as far last time as I thought I was going to. Is anybody here who has painted with me? Is anybody here surprised at how slow this is? I mean, sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, oh, dude, my tutorials are so slow. It must not be very satisfying to watch. But if I speed it up, then I'm skimming over important things. It just takes time. Yuki is asking what type of canvas I'm using. I am actually using gesso board by Ampersand. For palette knives, for palette knife paintings, I don't like to use canvas because the canvas has like a little bounce to it. This is a panel. It's totally flat. And I find that easier because I don't have to worry about the canvas being like even a little bit loose. So yeah, everybody think of a painter. If you can think of a painter, try Lucien Freud or Jenny Saville. I'm trying to pull out the planes that really, like my mouth was a mess last time. Oh, and I like totally did not even do the fulcrum. I'm not fulcrum, philtrum. I always call it the fulcrum. And did you guys notice that by not having a brush, like you really mix? Who here thinks that you're mixing more than you normally mix with this exercise? Or maybe it's the same. I have no idea. Actually, down here, it gets very yellow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch down to this yellow mixture. Yeah, that's a lot better. We're going to really, oh, you guys, the impasto, it feels so good. I mean, it felt good here on the palette, but it feels even better on the panel. I would really recommend you guys get this stuff. This is great. This is making me like the water mixable oils more. I mean, the water mixable oils, they're fine. I don't have problems with them, but I still don't like them as much as traditional oils. But this is a game changer. This is making me think, okay, maybe this is pretty good. I mean, it's a trade-off because, yes, this is not my preferred paint. I'd much rather be using oils, but the fact that I'm painting at my desk and not worrying about solvents and ventilation, that's a huge, huge difference. I mean, most people do not have a professional studio. Yeah, I'm gonna, so see here, down here, it's very blue. And it gets more yellow up here. I think the thing about this assignment, it's the squinting and the mixing. Both of those things take time. The mixing to get the color just so, it's a lot of work. This is actually, to me, color-wise, this reflected light is the most exciting part of this portrait. So actually, I want to throw that in there because that really has like a glow that I definitely did not capture the last time. It's pretty bright and it's very pink. So I'm going to try my base color with a little bit of cadmium red light. I feel like I've been ignoring you, cadmium red light. I definitely am not trying to. It's just I want to use you when you really are relevant. You just weren't relevant last time. Does anybody else talk to their colors? This is what you do. And I was thinking today, do I use Prussian blue? This is Prussian blue, okay? Because my comfort zone is cerulean blue and French ultramarine. And I was like, last time our date didn't go very well. Prussian blue just, it sort of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I was like, I don't think I want to see you anymore. But then I was like, maybe that was just a bad date. Maybe they were just a little bit off. Maybe Prussian blue and I just got to give it some time. Maybe we just need to spend more time. We need to get to know each other a little bit better. Maybe I'm just making assumptions about Prussian blue. I'm not giving it a chance. Okay. So what I'm trying to do right now is just brighten up the value because it was not strong enough, okay? And then next to it, the cadmium red, it gets brighter. So we're gonna add more. So what you guys can see, a lot of these colors do not get mixed from scratch. It's something that begins and then you tweak and add. I think that's more efficient. And I also think it makes sure that a lot of your colors are more related to each other. That might not be bright enough. Actually, let me do a little bit more. Although if I'm trying to channel Lucian Freud, maybe I should back off the saturation. Okay, so tell me, who are you channeling? Is it Lucian Freud? Is it Jenny Saville? I'm trying to think who else would be good for you guys to channel. I do think it would be better for you guys to look at somebody who's fairly painterly. Like, I don't think Caravaggio would be good for this exercise. Why did I make my nose so pink? What the heck? It's so weird. Okay. I'm going to brighten up my nose. It's definitely way too bright. Oh, the impasto, it just like has so much body and it just feels good. Like it does not, what I didn't like about the water mixables in the beginning, I didn't like the slipperiness. And I feel that with the impasto, it's not gone, but it's a lot of it is cut back. Okay. I'm just trying to get this brighter because that was not. And you know what else I didn't do? I didn't put enough green. There's like no green in here. So at some point, I'm going to try to beef up the green. All right, and I need to show more separation of the nostrils. Actually, there's like a little plane here. It does get tricky with palette knife paintings when you start getting into some of the smaller stuff. That's not as easy. Ooh, that's too bright. Let's get more of this blue. Just trying to get that a bit brighter. All right, let me take a look and see what you guys are saying in the chat. W.C. Lee says, not a bit surprised. Sometimes a painting comes together really fast. Other times it takes forever. It's so unpredictable. Have you guys ever had paintings that just paint themselves? And you're like, ooh, I'm just along for the ride. Other times you're just fighting a battle the whole way. Oh, good. Carrie Ann says, I love slow. I learn that way. Yeah, I definitely have watched videos or been in demos where people go so fast that you're like, whoa, slow down. So this might be too slow for some people, but at least it's not too fast, I hope. And if it is, just slow me down and let me know if I can explain things a little bit better. Adalosh says, I try not to mix with my brushes. It makes it so hard to clean. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. If you guys take a brush, hang on. Like if I take this brush, okay, and I use this brush to do most of the painting, you're going to build up big amounts of paint in here. And that means you're going to have to wash it way more. Now, this does all the work. And then I can take like a nice clean brush, put it in, and not have to worry about that. So absolutely, that is so true. Yeah, Gargi says I'm mixing way more than I usually do. And some of it's the simplicity, because the thing is, once you have all these brushes and the palette knife and the medium and all those things, you don't think about it as much because you're scattered throughout all of these different skills. By just focusing on only the palette knife, there's just fewer things to worry about. That's the thing about painting. It's just so much equipment. I mean, sometimes that's why I find drawing very relaxing, because it's just so much more straightforward than what you typically see. Julia says, are water-soluble oils better for a first try oil paint, more friendly? They're only more friendly in the sense that you don't have to worry about solvents. But as far as the actual act of painting, to me, it's not that different. But if you're worried about hazards and stuff, that probably is a better choice for that reason. Julia is asking, are they more like acrylics? They're not. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people, I think because they're called water mixable oils, are like, oh, which is better? But I can't really see it that way. For me, this is just a different paint. It's not like acrylic. I think it's closer to being like oils than being like acrylic, but I don't see this as oil painting, even though I know it's called water mixables. It's just not the same feel. Sandrine says, you can channel Lucian Freud and Johnny Seville's imaginary child. Actually, guys, Lucian Freud, he was sleazy. There's not good stuff about him out there. Vishaka is asking, is it safe to use these water mixable oils inside the house? Yes, it is safe, but since you have a 5-year-old, I would not have this anywhere near your 5-year-old. I would try to have it in a room where your 5-year-old doesn't hang out if you can. I mean, this is not something you want your kids to be around at all. Maymay says, do you still need ventilation? I usually work in a closed room without windows, but I want to try some breed of oils. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm in a room, closed windows, no ventilation. It's fine. The thing that makes oil painting a problem for ventilation is the solvent. I'm not using solvent. I'm just using water. Yeah. Ryan says, do you have a set of brushes for water mixable versus traditional oils? I don't. Maybe I should. I think it's fine. I think the more bigger problem is when you mix acrylic and oil brushes. That you should definitely not do. But I think oil's probably okay. I mean, I'm not super worried about archival quality right now because it's just like a demo painting. Like, I'm not going to need this painting in 2,000 years. I'm not going to be around, but I'm not worried about anybody needing to access this painting later on. Yes, Adelosh, you guys, there's some sleazy artists who have been celebrated in history, and it's a problem because a lot of the museums, like, they just don't know what to do with these people. Like, I mean, I'm not going to go into the details, but if you guys look up Gauguin, ew, yuck. Yeah, not good, guys. So, yeah, and Picasso was horrible. And, I mean, things are different now because of the Me Too movement. There's a lot of stuff coming out that, Chuck Close had allegations. I can't remember if he apologized what he said, but he did. It's all over. It's not just fine art. what I'm trying to do right now, so I confess, I'm not really thinking about color right now. I'm just trying to pull out some of the value because some of this got so dark that I just like really need to brighten it up before I go in and start doing it. And that's okay. You guys, you don't have to do everything all at once, especially at this stage. You can't do it so fast, one thing at a time, okay? So I recommend, if you guys have not done it, definitely watch our stream in the Elements of Art series that focuses on value. And then the other stream that's good for today is the stream that Jordan and I did about color saturation, talking about all those different degrees of intensity for a color. Tori says, can you try Artisa oil paint and do a review? I'll check it out. I mean, the issue is that for me to really get a certain brand, I have to spend time with it. I can't just do it once and figure it out. I have done so far 8 streams with Winsor & Newton, and each stream has been about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I feel like I'm just starting to get to know this paint. So it would take me a little while. Cobra Royal Talons is lined up next, so maybe after that I'll have a chance to go to Artisa. Rocket says, so the thinners for water mixable oils aren't safe to use. The thinners. I don't know if you're talking about the medium or if you're talking about the water. So sorry, maybe if you can clarify, I can help you with that. Okay. Trying to see, is that? Stuff like, I don't think it's that bright though. I think I'm going a little overboard. I don't think this blue is good anymore. I think I need to switch to something more like this, because my eyes are flat, but they're not that flat. I don't know if you guys saw, I posted this on Instagram the other day, but I Googled myself because, you know, I want to make sure things are okay in internet land. And at the bottom, there's like related searches. So like other things people search for. And 2 of them, one of them was, how old is Clara Lieu? The second one was Clara Lieu age. It's like, wow, people really want to know how old I am. I'm like, I'm 45, okay? I'm like, why do people want to know how old I am? Maybe because it's not super obvious. I don't know. Okay, there's quite a bit of pink here, but it's not. Oh. All right, so here, it's more pink here, and it's a little more green. Definitely need green. Okay, let's do this. Let's just do another pass. Make some of these sections a little bit brighter. And then very soon I'll go and I'll mix up like an olivey green to help with some of those sections. Oh, and the lip too. Ugh. You guys ever look at your painting and say, you're like, oh my God, they're so, like, I'm so behind. Oh my God, not even close. Ugh, you know what it's like, actually? It's like cleaning your house. Do you guys know that New Yorker cartoonist, Rhode? I love her. She's one of my favorite artists. I'll type her name in the chat, because if you guys don't know Rhode, you should. Anyway, her comics are all about how anxious people feel. And she had this one comic that was about cleaning your house. And she said it was like, oh, you start cleaning your house, and then you realize, oh my God, everything is so dirty. I have to do everything. And then you start freaking out. And sometimes that's how my paint. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to do. I don't even know where to begin. And I had the same experience yesterday, because again, I couldn't sleep. I'm a bad sleeper. I've been working on, we're trying to overhaul artprof.org, the website. And if you guys have not seen, we posted a survey for you guys to help us, because ultimately the website's for you guys. It's so you guys can have another resource. And it's not the same as YouTube. We're trying really hard to put stuff on artprof.org that is not something you can do or find on YouTube. It's going to take time to figure it out. But I had the same thing where I started making changes to the website and I went, oh my gosh, this needs to be changed, and that, and that, and that, and that. And I was like, oh my God, my brain's going to explode. I mean, one of the reasons the website is like that, and I can believe it, but the last time we had a pro look at our website was in 2017 when we had just launched the website. And I'm not kidding, we had 20 videos. We had so little content that the organization we had at the time was fine. But the thing is, we have over 700 videos now. And I'm like, okay, that old version of the website, that was not working. I mean, I had changed it a little ways back. Like what you're seeing now is not what it was back then. We had a whole other system, and I did obliterate it at one point, but still. Yeah, I still gotta, I'm almost ready for the green. It's getting so gray. I don't like that. Because my feeling is I sort of want to make a choice. I either want to go full out gray subtlety with Lucien Freud, or I want to do Jenny Saville. Yeah, I'm almost ready to mix that green. Very close. Just want to clean up some of these sections. I need to have a chin. That would be helpful. Okay. Oh, I guess the neck needs a little bit more. Yeah, I can't really do much without the neck. So I guess the lesson is just don't clean. Because when you clean, you're sort of horrified by the mess. At least I am. Although, have you guys ever noticed, I don't know if this is what anybody else does, but I'm always like, you know, the degree of cleanliness of my house in relation to my productivity as an artist, it's one or the other. Like you pick or choose. It's like, okay, you either have a clean house or you make art. You can't have both. It's really sad. I want to give a shout out to Annan, and thank you so much for the super sticker. We greatly appreciate your support. Guys, any contribution you make, it does not matter what the amount is. It is so helpful for us to make sure we have all of the operating expenses and things that we need to keep Art Prof up and running. And remember, you're helping other artists. You're making it so that somebody in the world, somewhere, can learn art without paying an astronomical amount of money. So it's not just to pay for our operational costs, it's also to help other artists throughout the world. Tori saying, what do you do when you are frustrated with a painting? I will take a break from my painting for 3 months and come back to it. Well, that's a smart thing to do. I mean, definitely put it away. But you know what helps me, Tori, is actually if I'm in full out production mode, I rarely work on one piece at a time. Most of the time, if I'm really working, I'll have probably 3 or 4 pieces going at the same time. Because what you can do, you can jump back and forth between those pieces. So when one piece is driving you crazy, you can put that away and then say, oh, I'll work on this one. And then when that one drives you crazy, you can work on another one. So you're able to bounce back and forth between the pieces. And if they're related, you're still in the same mindset. It's not like you're painting a still life one day and a flower another day. And then there's a little bit more relationship. I mean, another thing, honestly, that I think is helpful, I try to find a way when I'm working to be distracted, because it's strange. You would think that being distracted would interfere, but actually I think being distracted helps me, because then I'm not scrutinizing every single move, because I ruminate a lot. It's not always a good thing. And when I'm in the studio and I start ruminating about my work, it does not go to a good place, guys. It always goes badly. And so when I'm in the studio, I really try to put on something that makes me focus. I'll listen to a podcast, I'll listen to stand-up comedy. So I'm distracted by that while I'm doing the work, and I find that very helpful. Well, it looks like we got some theories on the Google search. I think you look and sometimes seem so much younger, but you also contain a lot of wisdom that makes guessing your age conflict. Well, once you start measuring your experience in terms of decades, that's when I think people are like, okay, you're not 23. That's definitely not the case. Victor says Clara's joyful spirit makes her forever young. You know, there's truth to that because, okay, this is going to sound really horrible, you guys, but when I was young, high school, stuff like that, I just thought to myself, oh, if you're older, you must be more tired and you must be less energetic. But that's not true. It has nothing to do with age, okay? I have a friend who's 70. She's like me. She has incredible energy. And I have had RISI students that I taught who had no energy and were so apathetic towards everything. It has nothing to do with age, you guys. May is asking, does the fat over lean also apply to water mixable oils? I think so. Again, I'm not the manufacturer, but my understanding from what I've read and what people have told me is that these are oil paints. It's just the way that, is it the emulsion? I have no idea. I'm not a chemist. But just the way it's put together makes it so that they don't need to use oils. Thank you so much for the super chat, Boris. We greatly appreciate your support. Like, you guys, these little donations, if we get a few every stream, it adds up and it makes a huge difference to us because you know what? Art Profit's still a little precarious. I mean, this is my like experimentation year. Like, I'm giving myself a year to try to get this up and going because if I don't, I'm going to have to go back to the classroom, which I don't mind, but it doesn't pay as much in theory if I have to do, because it's so time consuming to teach in the classroom. And I would like Art Prof to get to a point where I can just do this and not have to worry about supplementing my income in that way. And thank you so much, Mexico, for the super chat. Love your videos and mission statement. Vishaka says, doesn't having so many pieces of art all at once makes you lose focus from one and then again getting to focus on another? It's a bit tricky. It depends on the person, but what helps me, Vishaka, is I try to make sure the pieces I'm working on all at once are related. For example, if I'm doing, let's say I'm doing a whole bunch of these, okay? I might have 3 self-portraits, all in palette knife, and I'm doing them all at the same time. So a lot of artists, they work in a series. Kathy Speranza, who did the rose drawing tutorial, all her work is roses. So she's doing 4 different paintings of roses. They're all roses, but the thing is each painting is different. And so I think having that relationship is pretty important. All right, and we have a question from Cowther. How can I fix a muddy oil painting, and what is the reason behind it? Well, it is sort of like what I said before, that just the more you spend on a painting, the more you mix and add stuff, it's just going to get muddier. I mean, that's just the way it is. But a big part of it, Cowther, is letting the painting dry and then coming back. Because you guys, if you go back and you watch the first stream that I did for this painting, you'll notice that towards the end of the video, I talk about how, oh, this is starting to get really, really muddy and I'm having trouble putting this on. And so today, when I sat down to add the colors, it felt great because everything was dry. Nothing was getting in the way. I really could fix stuff. So oftentimes it's just letting it dry 100%, like bone dry, and then coming back to that. Sketchpaw says, is it possible to mix with a palette knife while using acrylic? Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely use one with acrylic. It does dry faster, but it's not that fast. Like you definitely have plenty of time to mix. And also, if you guys have a big blob like this is not going to dry that fast. Even in acrylic, it's not. It's just when acrylic is like thin, that's when that's going to happen. Ashley is asking, how do I paint the eyes? You don't right now. way too soon. Okay, we have all this shadow and bones. Like the eyes do not matter right now. Try not to get distracted by that. I know that's very easy because of the portrait, but you have to ask yourself, like, what am I really trying to get out of this painting? Like, I'm not trying to make it look like me. I'm not trying to make it beautiful. Like the whole point of this painting, this is a working painting. This is a painting I'm doing to learn something. I'm not doing it to look good or post it on Instagram or impress somebody. I'm doing it because I'm trying to get better at mixing. And it's fine to have artwork like that. Like I did that stream the other day on linear perspective. Those are not good drawings. Like those drawings are just there for me to learn linear perspective. Yes, Vishaka, you intentionally waited for the first session to dry. Absolutely. What I'm doing, I could not have done. It would have gotten all muddy and disgusting. Okay. You know what? I need to clean up some of the drawing stuff. This is bugging me. This is a little bit too dark. I'm going to take, I think I just need to get a hold on the value first. It's so hard because it's like you look at the painting, you're like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Not wrong, but not where I want it to be. I don't really feel that there's wrong in painting or art, unless it's the linear perspective police out to get you. And you know what? Now you guys have no excuse because we have a linear perspective draw along. So you can't tell me you don't. No, I'm just kidding. You can totally tell me you don't understand. That's the whole point of why I'm here. Yeah, so my thought is just want to go all in on Art Prof just for a little bit and see if I can get it more stable. Because if it does, then I just want to do this forever. Because you know what? In the fall, I'm going to mix up some hair color because, oh, geez, I'm totally ignoring the hair. All right, let's do French Ultramarine, Comfort Zone, and Alizarin Crimson. I might, well, I don't know. This is really intense. Like, I don't like how intense this is. So you know what? Raw Sienna, I'm sorry. I feel so bad, you guys. I was so mean to Raw Sienna. I was so unappreciative. And now I feel really bad. I'm ignoring it. It's probably got self-esteem issues now because of me. Okay. All right, let's pull that back. Just because you guys see this? There's like these little bits of orange that are showing through from the beginning of the canvas. Like you don't want that. That definitely will get in your way. But yeah, what I was saying is last spring when I was still at RISD, I was only teaching one class, just one day. So I had one day that I was on campus. And you would think, oh, one class, that's not that. It gets in the way. And because I am not teaching in the classroom this year, well, nobody is, but because I don't have to do that, oh my God, it's all the difference in the world. So I'm just, this is my experimentation year. We're going to see if we can get it to be more stable. And if we can't, I'll have to go back to the classroom, but I'm just going to try. We're not quite there yet, though. So it's still going to take, I mean, everything takes hustle, but this really takes hustle. I want to give a shout out to Cowther. Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are amazing. This community is just phenomenal. I mean, we were looking at the survey for the website. It's in the Discord if you guys have not had a chance to look at it. But one of the things that people said in the survey was to say they love the community and how that's such a big part of what we do. Although this was interesting, there's a comment somebody said in the survey. They said, well, listen, what you're teaching is very hard, and for that reason, it's not likely to go viral. You're probably going to have a group that is self-selecting, that really enjoys your stuff, but you're not going to go viral. And I'm like, I don't want to go viral. Like to me, going viral is not always a good thing. Like people think it is, but the thing is, you're not building like a following. Like you just have people that they look at it for a few seconds and that's kind of it. The people that go viral, like I don't go, oh my gosh, I'm a hardcore follower now. I don't do that at all. I'm like, oh, that's funny. Okay, done. I do want to do a little bit of this highlight. I know I'm getting distracted. I know it's hard. Like you look at one thing, you got to fix everything. But I really need like a silvery blue shadow. Yep, let's break out Prussian blue. Let's see. Prussian blue. Are you gonna do it for me? It's too purple. We need more raw sienna. All right. Oh, that's too much raw sienna. A little bit more Prussian. Ugh, I don't know what color. Ugh, what did I just do? This is a horrible color. Jeez. Okay. A little bit more white. But so anyway, I think some people might think, oh, well, yeah, that means you need to. I'm like, I'm not going to change. Okay. Like I'm going to teach you guys in the way that I think is the most effective, that I think you're going to get the most out of it. Screw going viral. Like I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. Especially if it compromises the content. That's even worse. All right, I'm just trying to fill in, like I said, these. Ew, I didn't clean my brush, my palette. Make sure you guys are cleaning your palette knife. Yeah, because these little bits of like orange, they're getting in the way. They're making it hard for me to really see what's going on. Yeah, there's still a big chunk here, although maybe I'll go in. See, now I'm getting fussy. That I don't like. I don't like it when I get fussy. But it's hard because even though you can tell yourself, oh, this is a working painting, it's like there's still a part of you that wants it to look good. It's hard to ignore that 100%. I'm just trying to get, because there is this like transition of like more gray, because my hair is like all whack. Oh God, I really need a haircut. Okay, I just want to make that transition a little bit softer. It's too harsh right now. So being viral, not important to me, but I just want to like not worry every month. I just want to like be okay and know like, okay, we've got what we need. Because that's all that matters. You just need what you need. I mean, I feel that way about life in general. It's like, even if I could have a Rolls Royce, I don't want a Rolls Royce. I don't. The thing I would spend money on, okay, if I was rich, I would totally fly first class. That's one thing I totally would do if I was rich, but not yet. All right, and we do need a bigger chunk of hair. Ugh, I'm running out of this black. You guys ever feel lazy and you're like, I don't want to bother to mix that color? I do that a lot. Like, oh, I can't be bothered. Just want like a more solid shape of black back here. You know, I have more hair here than I did last time, so I'm going to add more. Oh my God, you guys, best hair story. So I was taking this painting class at RISD, and it was a 6-week class, but we met like, I don't know, 3 times a week. And each class was long. It was like 6 hours. And so these like really long-term oil paintings. And I was doing this painting of this model with a beard. The last week of class, we had like 2 more paintings to go, 2 more days of painting, and like 12 hours left to go. And we were just about to finish. He shaved his beard. Like this guy had like a full out, huge, I was like, you couldn't wait 48 hours for to shave that beard? Like, I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, oh my God, he did not think it through. And we couldn't work from it. Sorry. We could not, like, there is nothing we could do because the shape of his face changed. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing to us? I'm also trying to simplify my strokes. I was getting a little fussy. I think this is a little more silvery. I feel like everything's too purple right now. Oh, again, this is like, oh my God, I need to wipe that cabinet. Shoot, I have not cleaned the popcorn maker. It's a million things. Ashley's asking, can you do this with colored pencils? Not really, because this is such a different form of color. Colored pencils is all about layering. It's not about mixing something and then putting it on. It's just a totally different thing. We do have a lot of tutorials on colored pencils. So if you guys go into our YouTube playlist, you can find a playlist that has all the colored pencils. And you know what, you guys, I worked all night on this yesterday, is if you go to artprof.org, I'll type this into the chat. So go to artprof.org, and then you go to teaching and learning. There's a sub-menu called Art Resources. I just added that yesterday, and that page has all of our slideshows. It has all the playlists. It has the Flickr collection. It has a list of artists, podcasts, websites, blogs, YouTube channels. It's a ton of information, but I put a lot of buttons so that you can go to a certain section. Like if you click at the top, it'll like bring you down to the bottom. And then there's all these buttons that say back to top. So you can go up and down pretty fast. So I'd recommend you look at that. Vishaka says, do you think your lighting from the first session might have changed? Could affect a lot. Is it possible to have huge differences in value than what you see with just a little light shift? That's a great question. It's pretty much the same. I mean, I remember last time it wasn't a particularly like super cloudy day. It was average lighting. Today's pretty similar. I do remember it being too dark last time as far as like me putting down too many dark colors. So that definitely was on me. But one thing that helps is I'm painting at the same time. It's not an accident that I scheduled these streams at 12 o'clock on the weekends because I want the lighting to be the same. But you know, you guys, for those of you who are worried about lighting and changes and my hair being different, and watch Kathy Speranza's video, the one on drawing roses, because she talks about this towards the end of the video about the challenges of working from life. And she said that what you need to think about is that you're working with living things. I mean, I'm a living thing. So when you work with a living thing, it cannot be that precise. And you can get frustrated with that, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to work with that, and I'm going to accept that things are not going to be the same every time, and that's okay. It's fine. Marie says, want to say thank you for the thumbnail tutorial. The drawing I made for my thumbnail sketches are now in a judge drawing salon in Stockholm, Sweden. That's amazing, Marie Louise. That's so exciting. Oh, you guys, I just love that. You guys, every time one of you tells me a story like that, that you learned something from the video, it could be big, it could be small, and then you took it and you applied it in the context of your work and got whatever result you got, that's amazing. Because I don't want you to copy what I do. I want you guys to absorb and then manipulate it, make it fit for your needs, so you really feel that it's your work. It shouldn't be that you're just blindly copying stuff. I mean, it's okay to start that way. If you don't know where to start, I mean, like we were saying, a master copy is such a great way to get started, but it's really, ultimately, I want you to make your own voice. I don't want you guys to just copy one of us. Chayla says, thanks for all the free content. Has helped me a lot. Have you ever thought about making videos talking about the different art movements in history and what makes it good? That would not be one video. I tell you, Chayla, that's like a whole other YouTube channel. I mean, we can definitely think about that. I think what we have found is more effective, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is to have videos really be specific. So if you have a video that's like, let's go over art movements. I mean, we certainly could have one where it's sort of like an overview, but the issue is that when you cover that much content, you can't go very much in depth. And at least for me, I'm a big nerd. I like things to go in depth. Ananin says, I'm not confident to start any of this yet, but I'm learning so much and building up the confidence to try. You know what, Ananin? That's the hardest part, the start part. The rest of it is going to just do itself. Tell me in the chat, who has trouble starting? I do. Some days I'm like, oh, I don't want to. Just start. That's what my colleague Bill Flynn used to say. And we do have a stream that talks about why is it so hard to get started. I believe it's under artist wellness or process. I can't remember. It's one of those playlists. Amelia says, I was watching your videos. I'm worried and preparing my entrance portfolio. I'm finishing my first year of university in painting and drawing. Phenomenal. Good for you, Amelia. I love hearing stories like that. Okay. Oh, I feel like I've been working on it. I feel like nothing's happening. My forehead got really big also. What happened? But who cares, you guys? It doesn't matter. It's fine. I'm just going to close that in a little bit more. Yes, I know my forehead's too big. Now it's bugging me, so I got to go in and fix it. Okay, that's a little bit less embarrassing. It's really hard. I mean, it's so much easier to give advice than it is to take it. And some of you guys are so productive in the Discord. It's amazing. I mean, I go in there and I'm like, dude, I am not this productive. Like, it's really inspiring because you know what it is? It's like when you see other people doing stuff, it makes you want to do more. I love it. We need each other for that. Oh my God, my hair is like getting into David Bowie land. Sheesh. We really need some green. Let's put the green in. I've been putting that off like crazy. Okay. Want something olivey, so let's start with this. Cerulean is good for that. And I think raw sienna. Cadmium yellow light is not getting a lot of love today. I think I feel so bad, raw sienna. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I'm not trying to make you feel unseen. Look, I almost used you all up. Good. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put a little swatch to see if it's what I like. Let's just try it here. Let me just put I think it's not quite saturated. I don't really feel, it looks too gray to me. Let's do a little bit more. It's hard because I have this worry a lot of the time about my colors being too gray because I had a teacher, actually it was Tony Janello. We have a video of me interviewing Tony Janello. And if you guys haven't watched that video, you should watch it because Tony Janello, I sort of worship him. And everything I know about color is from him. He really changed my life with color. But so anyway, when I was in art school, Tony said to me, because I was terrible at color, and I totally was, he was like, Clara, you have an eye for gray. I was like, I was so upset. I was like, oh my God. Like I did not, well, I needed to hear it. I really did. But it was I was like, oh my God. It's like basically telling me like, Clara, you're really bad at this. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, that's too dark. So I'm going to add more of this. But because he said that to me, I am chronically worried about my colors getting muddy. And so I think nowadays I try to overcompensate by making things too bright, but then because they're too bright, I lose all the subtlety. It's like you can't win. Just need to get a nice that better? A little bit more, maybe. You guys will also notice I add colors in small increments. I think oftentimes people, they try to put like giant, it's like, don't, just a little bit. You can always add more. It is not hard to add more, but it is a pain when you do too much and then you have to put in like 3 blobs of white to compensate. Okay, let's try that green again. Yeah, that's pretty good. Justin's asking, type his name in the chat. Yeah. So let me write this. So it's Tony Janello. And so if you guys just type Art Prof Tony Janello, you'll find it. The thumbnail on the front, it says color in crayons. It's a picture of me and him on the front. All right, let's just take some of this green and put it all over the place. I will say, you guys, I do really like the second day a lot better. The first day is it's just a mess. And I am starting to feel like I'm making progress. I mean, I know I was like, oh, I think I'm going to need a third session. I mean, to really show you guys the range of what you can do. Okay. Yeah, I like this color. It's definitely going to help me fix things. I definitely have I have so much purple. Way too much. Another thing, guys, look at how much I'm looking and look at how much I'm painting. I think I'm actually looking more than I'm painting. People think you have to look at your painting when you paint. You don't. You actually have to spend more time looking at yourself. I mean, the consequence is right now there's so many colors. I do feel that the painting's getting a little bit fragmented, but that's okay. I think I need to do that. This is starting to not look good. I got to fix the nose. It's bothering me. That area is pretty gray. So, you know, I'm going to mix another mixture here. I need some more of this base color. Who's painting along? Let me know in the chat. It's so satisfying when you guys post your stuff in the Discord. So helpful because, wow. Like I said, you guys work hard. And you're not doing it for a grade. You're not doing it to get credits. You're not doing it because you want to get an A. You're doing it because you really want to do it. And that's amazing. Because I love teaching art school, but you get a lot of students, especially if you're teaching a required class, who just don't want to be there. And it's hard because you try to convince them that it's going to be a good experience, but they don't always believe you. So it's tricky. How did my forehead get so big? What the heck? It's driving me crazy. I gotta fix it. Sorry. My vanity is getting in the way right now. I can't deal with how I look. I mean, here I am like, don't worry about how you look. I'm like, I can't, this is bothering me too much. Yeah, I got to bring the hair in. Well, I am having a lot of fun with the textures. Textures are super fun. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, now we're gonna, you see this? I'm like, oh my God, the nose needs so much work. Crap, the hair needs so much work. You can't win. All right, I'm gonna take some of this. I really need to get rid of these pinks in the nose. It's not that they're not there. It's just the pinks I have, they're too dark. Taking away a lot of attention. Ooh, is that? Oh my God, that's so purple. Yuck. What did I just do? That's better. Yeah, I think the value was just way too much on the nose last time. All right, now I'm going to go back in with the green again. Make this green more substantial. I love the Impasto medium is so good, you guys. Oh my God. I am a fan. They didn't tell me to say that. That was real. Oh, the lip. I haven't even touched the lip. Sheesh. Let's see. The lip is weird. It's crap. I have stuff on my lip. Ugh. It's very purple at the top, but I don't think it's that dark. Try that again. Or maybe I just need the highlight on the lower lip. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's get some alizarin in here. Don't need a lot. Get some of that alizarin, and then it needs more. I need more alizarin. I think I have enough alizarin. These are going to last a while. I paint pretty thin. Even this is pretty thin. Like I'm not like Frank Auerbach, who is like throwing gigantic pints of paint all over. Shoot, I got a little green stuck in there. Now I lost my highlights. Come on, come back. I really need some value on the mouth. Do you guys see those pockets? I really lost that. Let me do, this is too severe. I don't think I want that. Let me use some of this purple. This might be good enough. Although, I don't know. I don't think that highlight's doing it. It's hard because the mouth is so small, and with a palette knife, it's just really difficult to do. The mouth is mega bothering me. See, even I know the reason I'm doing this, and yet I'm still trying to keep myself from getting worried about all that other stuff. Soyton Lee says you have a big brain. That's why your forehead is big. I wish it was. I don't know. Now, this is true, Seven Angelic. She has too many ideas, and they're trying to break out. You just ask the staff. I am known on my staff for having crazy Clara ideas that Alex Rowe likes to humor me. And it's like, guys, just listen. Let's just try it in that Alex Rowe voice. And then Lauren's like rolling her eyes, going, oh my God, this is so dumb. Every now and then I do have a good idea, but not all the time. Mark is asking, how do you stop yourself from over blending? Because a lot of my painting, traditional and digital, looks very flat. Any tips? I think it really helps to work with brushes that are too big. For example, this brush, for a lot of people, a painting this size with a brush this big seems ridiculous. People would say, well, this painting's fairly small. Don't you want to use small brushes? Yeah, but small brushes make you picky. They make you fussy. If I have a brush like this, I can't be fussy. I have to be more emphatic about the strokes. That's a really big difference. The other thing is to work in shorter spurts. So instead of working on a painting for 6 hours in a row, just do an hour. Walk away, come back. Because I think oftentimes when I feel myself picking, that means I'm not really changing very much. It means I should get up and walk away. So walking away sooner than you think you should, and then coming back, I think you'll be surprised. Adalosh says, your ideas can all be winners. Of course not. You guys, Art Prof is always a work in progress. We're always changing things. We're always like, yeah, that was dumb. Let's not do that again. We do that. So, but that's why we've been able to make progress is because we've done dumb things. All right, I'm losing my chin. I just want to bring it back a little bit. Is that dark green or is that purple? I'm looking at myself and all I see is purple, and I know that's not the only color there. You know, Prussian blue, can you help me out? Let's try a different purple, a purple that has maybe a little less red. Let's see if this helps. I don't know if it will. Oh, that's way too sad. Ugh, I don't like that. Let's put a little cadmium red, tone that down. The cadmium red is behaving like orange would, even though it's called cadmium red. Let me see how that looks. Oh, that's way too saturated. I'll do more cadmium red. See, this has better value though. You have to ask yourself when you're mixing a color, like, am I trying to fix the value or am I trying to fix the saturation? Because you can't do both. Oh, it's still too saturated. I don't like that. But see, the cadmium red's nice because it keeps the color fairly vibrant still. Let's try that. Because I want this color to be fairly dull. I don't like that. That's way too dark. I'm just going to wipe it off. That's bad. I think I'm going to make it a little lighter. I think it's just too dark. Way too severe. I know this looks like pure mud. Oh, still too dark. Jeez. Oh, I didn't even touch the neck. Shoot. This is the cleaning your house. That's dirty. That's dirty. I think somebody once told me, they said, if you have a house, you don't own the house owns you. I'm like, yes, that is very accurate from my knowledge. Let's get more yellow. I feel like there's too much purple in my piece and not enough yellow and not enough green. I think I definitely should beef that up. Although this yellow is disgusting. What am I doing? Gross. This is like green. What happened? Look at that. Try that. Oh, that's a lot better. Yeah, it's too much pink and it's too much purple. Just want to get this. Yeah, I lost some of that. That's like a burnt sienna? I'm going to take a little piece of this and add a little burnt sienna. Oh, guys, this is the first time I've used burnt sienna in the whole stream. I feel sort of bad. Talk about being neglected. An hour into the stream and I still haven't touched it. Okay, so let's get some burnt sienna in here. Something really thick and substantial. Actually, down here, there's quite a bit too. I'm going to mix one that's a little bit like same color, but just brighten it a little bit because I can see that that color was too harsh. I need more of a transition. Maybe a little bit more. Guys, this is a great way to spend your morning. Just mixing paint. Doesn't it feel good? It's very soothing. And then, oh yeah, I guess back here, it's a little bit more severe. Yeah, I'm getting there very, very slowly. This is not the last stream, guys. This definitely needs more work. Like more than I can do today, I can tell, because there's just so many changes that had to be made. Ooh, got too much of that white color in there. And actually, I do want to mix a dark brown purple because, what was that? Oh, yeah, so see this reflected light? It's too big. I want to make it a little bit smaller. So to do that, I'm going to mix like a dark purpley brown to put under that area because it is quite warm. We are doing a stream on warm and cool colors this week. Try this. Maybe this will help boost that reflected light. Yeah, it's still too big. It's okay. It's easier to fix when it's too big rather than when it's too small. And this sort of disappears. I feel like there's a dark purple over there. Just gonna, I mean, like I said, I have way too much purple, but I need it for a value difference down there. So does everybody see how this starts to glow? Oh my God, and my ear. We got to fix the ear. The ear is a mess. If anything, just to cut down on the saturation, because I don't want the ear to compete. The ear should not be brighter than that highlight. So I'm not going to like work on the ear as much as I just want to get rid of that stuff so it doesn't get in the way. It's pretty pink at the top though. But I am going to shift the value. Maybe this dark brown would be good. Let's try that. All right. It's getting there. It's better. Palwasha is asking, what is the name of the water-based oil paint, please? It is from Winsor and Newton. They provided the supplies for today's stream, so you guys can check out their paints. Shasta says, can't imagine how challenging it would be to host these draw-alongs while reading and responding to the chat. You get used to it. It's work. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but one of the reasons we stream every day is because you just get so much better, so much faster. If I streamed only once a week, I don't think I would be as comfortable with it as much. I mean, one of the reasons I'm pretty good at speaking on camera is because I've done it so much. It's like drawing. It's just, you got to log the hours. It's not something you just are ready to do. You're not born to do that. Actually, you guys, I don't know if some of you guys watched the stream last week. Mia Rozier, who did the tarot card deck, she did a Kickstarter campaign. She's already funded. She got it funded in 2 days. It's amazing. I'm so proud of her. But she said when she filmed the trailer for her Kickstarter campaign that she thought she was being all perky, and I listened to it and some of her friends did and were like, you sound really upset. Like it's hard to speak on camera. It's not the same thing as when you speak to somebody in real life. Whack is asking, can I paint outside to limit odors? Because I paint with traditional oils. Yeah, you can paint outside. Just don't dump that stuff outside. You would take it to hazardous waste. I don't know where you live, but most towns in the US at least, they have hazardous waste that you can drop off a couple times a year. Sometimes you can go to the town dump or something like that. But that's the most important thing. You can't pour that stuff anywhere else. Kevin says, I'm intrigued you're using palette knife for portrait. I usually only see that with landscapes, cityscapes, and other looser painting subjects. I'm not into doing what other people do. Like, it's just boring. Somebody mentioned the other day, because we were doing linear perspective, somebody was talking about urban sketching and how a lot of people have linear perspective in those urban sketching images. And urban sketching is amazing. I mean, I love it. We've done videos where I went to China and Taiwan, Utah before I moved here. But you know what's weird, you guys? Maybe this is just me, but most of the urban sketching artwork I've seen online, it looks really similar. And I think it's strange because you think about all the ways you can sketch, and there are always these pen drawings that are like really, really loose, and they do a lot of pen work, and then they like splash watercolor on it. And I'm like, really? Is that the only way? I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying typically that's very, very common. That style. I associate it with urban sketching because I see that all over the place. Sandarine says, are you using a smaller palette knife for details or just the big one for everything? I'm just using the big one. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm somebody who doesn't like to switch between tools. I find it a little bit disorienting. And I like this one because this knife, you can do small stuff if you just use the tip. But then if you use the broad side, you can do like a really wide stroke. It depends on the palette knife. It's a very personal decision. All right, let's, oh, I have to do the whites of the eyes. What I'm trying to do now, there's so much that needs to be worked on, but I'm trying to think, what is the stuff that I haven't even touched yet? What is the stuff that's like really just like, it's an emergency, gotta fix this now. I mean, I shouldn't be fussing about my hair. You guys tell me to stop fussing. I know I'm doing it. It's bugging me though. Okay, the ear definitely needs work, but let's do this. I haven't touched this area at all. I think some of this green will be helpful. Although, I see a little patch of blue over there. So let's take some of this, take a little more cerulean. Let's just push this green more blue. Although, I don't want to use Prussian. Let's try ultramarine. I think the cerulean has too much yellow. It's not looking blue enough for me. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, let's see. Oh, palette knife is still really dirty. Let's try that. Oh, way too dark. Jeez. Let's get some of this in here. Because again, I don't want the value to do that. It should be a lot lighter. Try that. It looks really out of place, but the thing is, I know there's pink there. I just haven't put the pink on yet. See, the other nice thing is because this is the second layer, I'm not working as fast. Like last time I was all over the place. I can, like, there's actually parts I have not really painted. I haven't touched the background, I haven't done the shirt. Actually, I really need to do the background. Don't want that to stay there for too long. I feel like my head just, it got like thin at the bottom and it like grew at the top. Just don't think about it. That's not the whole point. That's not why you're here. All right, I'm gonna see if I can pull out a little more skin here. I mean, I definitely want to widen a part of my face. Let's try more of this blue. It might be too bright. I desperately need pink in here, but the thing is, I'm trying to like fix some of the form. Give myself more of a cheekbone. Actually, I'm going to put in more of this purple because I sort of lost my zygomatic arch. Got lost. Actually going to beef up some of this value-wise. Oh, I don't like that. That looks terrible. Oh, I need the pink. One thing at a time. See what I mean? You're like, I gotta take out the garbage. I have to scrub the sink. All the dishes are dirty. Sometimes you guys, Sometimes I think more about the dishes than I do about my work or about charging my phone. It's so mundane. Oh, I think the neck needs to come out. Is that what it is? Maybe. Yeah, because I still have this like yucky burnt sienna underpainting showing, which I don't want. Oh, that's it. I don't have enough like neck going on. Sheesh. Let's pull that out. Really need to make that more dramatic. Guys, get this impasto stuff. This stuff is great. Oh, it's like it's way too low. I need more shoulder here. That's the problem. And then I'm going to pull this up a little more. All right, that's feeling a little better. I also lost some of the neck on this side, so I'm just going to go in. Just get a little more straight. Yeah, my neck was like shrinking. That's not good. Oh, and then I need like wait. Sheesh. You guys, I feel like I'm looking at a really messy house. Guinea pig hay is on the floor. Dishes are dirty. The carpet has stuff. There's two dirty socks. That's what I feel I'm looking at right now. Oh my God. I'm going to pull a little bit more of this color in on the side. I don't have enough chin. It's like my jawbone like disappeared. How do we fix that? I guess that area's pretty purple, so I'm just going to come in, just like really make a statement with that jawbone. Because I'm losing the structure so bad there. It's not looking good. It's hard, like the temptation to want to sit here and just like draw everything. It's hard, but that's not the point. It's not the purpose of this exercise. Oh, what is going on here? I feel like I'm losing. Maybe I need more highlight here. Is that? Or maybe I need a little more green? Getting really confused. Okay, now there's too it's so back and forth. Too much, too little. Yeah, because now I like took away too much. And I'm losing the chin a little bit. I'm just trying to like push things to the left. Okay, this blob is way too big. I need to get rid of that. And I think I need maybe the brown, because that's a very cool area. And maybe this brown is the warmth that I need for that contrast. Because warm and cool is very effective for contrast. Like usually if things are all warm or all cool, they don't tend to look very contrasty. Like that. I need to pull out my, oh, this is too sunken in. Oh, you see, it's like you start noticing all these problems. And you know something else? I'm doing too much picking. Like I'm really trying to be more emphatic about my stroke because I'm not doing a great job there. So I'm just pushing my zygomatic arch out to the left. And I do want to get to that pink eventually. I'm losing my ear now. But like I said, one thing at a time. Let's getting there. I mean, I'm not happy. Never happy with my stuff, especially with painting. I just have like an inferiority complex. Who here has an inferiority complex when it comes to painting? I do. It's just, I was never as good at it as I wanted to be. Whereas here's the thing. I did not do a degree in printmaking. And I think to a certain degree that helped me. Because I didn't do my degree in printmaking, I didn't have a lot of expectations for myself in printmaking. I was just like, oh, yeah, it's something I do. Yeah. But the thing is, when I was in art school, I was like, oh, painting is my thing. I am a painter. And so I had a lot writing on that because it was what I was focusing on. And I think it made things worse for me because you build so many expectations for what you think you should be. And then when you are not what you think you should be, it gets really painful. But in printmaking, because I was like, la, 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 printmaking, whatever. Like, I actually think I'm a better printmaker than I think I am. If that makes any sense, I don't know. I don't know, for some reason, when I do printmaking, I don't get all insecure. I just have fun with it. But maybe that's just the material. It could just be, maybe the nature of printmaking is just better suited for the way I work. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go back and beef up this highlight on my forehead because I feel like I'm losing some of that dimensional quality. I really need to fix this. This is driving me crazy. Come on. I need more of that green. Pull that upwards towards the eye so it feels more substantial. Oh my God. My cheek like fused with my ear. Ooh, that looks terrible. Okay, we have to fix the ear. So I think it's like, I think my ear got too long. I have to separate it from, okay, that's better. That's a little bit less scary looking than what I had before. I need to push this out. Like I keep trying to push my jawbone out and I just keep not doing it enough. You know, I think a lot of it is just, honestly, guys, it's just like expectations. It's like, do you have expectations for what you think? I don't know. I think sometimes maybe that's why teaching was easier for me than being a studio artist, because people just don't have expectations for teachers. Unfortunately, they just don't, because, you know, there aren't like teacher competitions and nobody gets any glory for being a teacher. So I guess it's like, because you know that's not even a possibility, it's like you just get freed from all that crap. It's very distracting. Oh, this whole section is driving me crazy. And I'm losing that brown. I need this brown. It's way too much purple. The brown is really necessary here. Oh, now it's too... I don't like this. It's getting there, but not terrific. You know, I think I'm going to move on from that spot. I think I'm spending too much time on it. And I definitely think this is too low. So I'm going to push this up with the brown, because I think the reflected light is just not as big as I made it. I made it way too big. Yeah, it should really be like barely there. It should be just like a little sliver. It's better. And now I need, let's try a little bit of like Prussian blue with this. I just want a little bit of kick of value in there. Let's just try this. I think this might be too much, but let's just try it. Ugh, that looks terrible. I don't like that. Way too blue. Let's get rid of that. Not good. I do want to pull up. Still a little too much shadow. That one spot. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Sophia says, any medium I try, I already set these expectations for myself. I already have this vision of what I want the work to be. It just makes working more difficult. I get it. Although this is a very good point from Sandarine. When you are completely satisfied with your work, you stop progressing. It's not so much that you stop progressing. It's just it's not that you're not learning, but it's not as active. And I'm a little bit crazy in that the second I get satisfied with something I make, then I get worried that I'm not learning. It's a nice little vicious cycle that we like to put ourselves through as artists. Vishaka says, I do see you in the painting now. I'm sure if I was doing it, it might have some stranger's portrait. You know, it doesn't matter, because the point of this portrait is not to make it look like me. It's to show you guys how to mix colors. I mean, it'd be nice if it looked like me, but I don't care. I mean, that's the whole thing about self-portraits. I think a lot of people, it's just too much pressure. The likeness issue is a real problem for a lot of people. Anna Nin is asking, how much impasto do you mix to the oils? I didn't put a lot. I'm not painting that thick, though. I mean, my feeling is that you probably could add a lot. And it doesn't seem to be diluting the colors at all. I mean, granted, I'm not putting a lot in there, but I know sometimes people will worry, oh, well, if you put that in, maybe the colors will not be as brilliant. I'm not feeling that at all. I feel like the colors really are fine. Suba is saying, what was the hardest part of your painting? Oh, geez. Where do you even want me to get started? I mean, a lot of it is the seeing of the color, is looking at myself carefully and really saying, like, is that blue? Is that green? Because if you don't look carefully, you can just say, oh, it's gray. It's easy to say that. But the seeing part, I think, is harder. I mean, this is all hard. I'm not saying this is easy, but that's the part that I have trouble with. Nolan says, have you thought about doing more watercolors? Yes. I just did one with Jordan where we did paintings of clothing. Well, he didn't do painting, he did Procreate, but I did do watercolor for that one. And that was the last stream in our clothing series. So that's the most recent watercolor stream I did, but I'm going to be planning more. And you guys can always tell us. We do have a channel in our Discord. It's called Art Prof Video Requests. And if you guys go in there, if there's a topic or a material, whatever you guys want to see us produce videos on, just go into that Discord channel and just tell us. And I'll tell you if it's a viable topic, because there's some topics that are so specific that we have to bring in a guest artist. Sometimes we don't have to. Sometimes it's like, okay, Alex can do that. But it depends on the topic. So just definitely let us know. Maddie is asking, how are you able to see different colors? It's a matter of comparison. So if I look at my cheek here and I compare it to the shadow, I have to look at those two colors together. Don't just look at one spot, okay? So I look at here and I think, okay, well, compared to my cheekbone, this part is very pink. This is very blue in comparison. So that's the key to color, you guys, is you have to look at them together. So speaking of pink, I'm going to do a little bit more because I don't want to go on to the next layer without having the pink in there. I think that would make things more problematic for me. So I think, although there are many parts, many parts that need work, that is more the emergency right now. The ear needs so much work, but you know what? I can't do it right now. Although, you know what? I do need some hair here because I think that was sort of getting in the way of the cheekbone. Oh, I still keep not making it white enough. It's still not enough. Like, I keep adding more. It's still not what I need. Oh, now I'm losing the ear again. Go back. Come back. Okay, I'm losing. There's so much value on this side that could be better. That's probably too much. Oh my God, this part's driving me crazy. I think I'm picking. No. All right, you know what? I have to leave this part because I know I don't have time to do the ear right now. So I just want to get in some of those pinks because for me to move on. Oh my God, and the shirt. I didn't even do the shirt. Shoot. All right, pink and shirt. That's what we're going to do real fast. Those are the two things. I promise I'm not going to get distracted by the other stuff. All right, so I'm mixing up more of my base color. And this is going to be used for the pink. And I think I just really want more of this cadmium. I love cadmium red. It's so good. This is not cadmium red. It's actually cadmium red light. It's very orange for a red. But I love it because it's not so pinkish. It's got a little bit of yellow, which I think for me helps. Okay. Oh, that's way too dark. Okay, that definitely needs like a lot more white. Because I want the pink, but I think the pink should not be that dark. It's the squinting. Yeah, exactly. That's what C. Cantrell says. Matthias says the problem comes when you can't stop squinting. I felt so validated, you guys, because I shot that tutorial with Cassie Speranza drawing roses with pencil and charcoal. And we talked so long about squinting, her and I. And I was like, I feel so validated. I'm not the only person that obsessively squints when they draw. I mean, I'm not questioning that it's just like, I'm not crazy. Okay. Okay. I just want this to like freshen up some of these spots that got a little lost. And I'm trying to be a little more direct with my strokes. I think I was getting very picky and that was not helping me. Trying to put down strokes that feel a little more straightforward and fresh. Might be a little too much. No, shouldn't try to mix on the surface. That was a bad idea. Maybe a little bit more on this side. Yeah, I like that pink. That pink is helping me. A little bit less severe than some of the other passages. Although this is, I'm really seeing that green. I am really happy I put the green in it. It made a big difference. Okay, I did the pink. I need to do a tiny little bit on my eyes. Whites of the eyes. I look like one of those X-Files people. And certainly this is not remotely enough, but at the very least it'll... See, the thing is, do I paint myself with the squint? Because every time I look at myself, I'm squinting. Maybe I should. I think I will. It means I have to bring it all down. Okay, now I look really weird. That's okay. I'll come back and I'll fix it next time. Okay, now my eyes got too small. That's okay. I think it's not that they're too small. They just need to be a little wider. I mean, I have very thin eyes, so it's understandable. I just got to pull them out so they look a little wider and they look too thin. I just want the width. Like, it's fine. I know the eyes look wonky. I'll fix them later. I feel like one is definitely bigger than another. That's okay. I'll get to it at some point. I'm losing some of this. I need to come in a little closer. Let's just fix up some of the drawing here. So I need that jawbone to come down more. Oh, and I also do not have enough. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm missing on this side. Oh, see, my palette knife's starting to get gross. But I totally neglected this. No, don't run out of paint. I don't want to mix more. I have to. Yeah, that's what I was missing. I didn't have enough form here. It's the same thing. I think I just like my face just kept getting thinner and thinner. It wasn't wide enough. And now I'm just trying to pull it out. My cheekbone got too high. This is definitely the I'm trying to clean my house portrait. I have like no eyebrows, guys. Let's just scrub them in. You know what's funny? My first daughter, when she was born, the first year of her life, she had no eyebrows. I mean, she had them. You could see there were like eyebrows there, but they were so light that all these pictures of her when she was a baby, she looks like looks like somebody just like erased them. They're hilarious. And the thing is, like, both my kids were born with lots, like a full head of hair, so it was like even more hilarious because she had no eyebrows but a full head of hair. It was so funny. The nose is so mushy. Okay, I have to do this though. It's way too red. All right, let's take this. Let's just dump tons of alizarin crimson in there. So Matthias is asking this question: why raw sienna instead of yellow ochre? It's a dumb reason. You know why? Because I ran out of yellow ochre. It didn't go to the store. That's why. I know, it's so boring. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better answer. It's usually I use yellow ochre, but I don't have any. So I was like, okay, raw sienna, you're good enough. Okay, and I do want to mix one that's a little bit darker. So how about a big chunk of that? Oh, that's way too saturated. Okay, let's take away that. And I don't want to add the blue. Maybe I'll do Prussian blue because I want something more dark in value for this area. Okay, so this is like a nice shadow color for the shirt. I have to get the shirt. I can't not do the shirt. This might be a little bit too light. Let me just see. Oh, that looks horrible. So pink. Sheesh. I need way more. I want to give a shout out to Mr. I'm sorry, I can't read that language, for the super sticker. Thank you so much for your support. Any contribution you guys can make, because like I said, this is Art Prof's year. It's like I either do it this year or I go back to university teaching, which I'd rather not. This is more fun for me. That's still really bright, but it's better than before. Hang on, I think it just Does it just need more value? Like on this side, it's more blue. So actually, let me mix some more Prussian, and maybe I'll do this for the left-hand side. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's definitely way more. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to take this one, and mix these two together, because it's definitely darker on the left-hand side, more purpley. The right-hand side is more red. I'll show you guys, you'll be able to see better when I show you in the Discord. And actually, it's very dark here. And back here as well, there's quite a bit of value. I mean, I can always go back and fix it. It's just, it definitely needs something. I mean, I love that I get to paint, because honestly, I was so frustrated with my painting skills. I just stopped painting after a little while. And this is nice because it's like I'm painting, but I don't have to do it to succeed. I'm just doing it because I want to share knowledge with people. And that's so fun. Let's see if that helps. I'm not sure. I don't think I like that. But, you know, it's all wet now, so I'm not sure I can do anything about it. But I think the important thing is not that this color is perfect, but that it's different from the left-hand side, because I definitely did not show that in the last pass. So let's just make sure that this color here is just not the same. That's just what I want. So I'm going to beef this up like that. Parts are bugging me, guys. Oh my God. Okay. You know what I think? I think that was a sign. Oh, your name is Tia. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. It's just people type in different languages and I can't read any of it. I'm really sorry about that. Sly Keeper is asking about NFTs. I've been reading about that because there is that sale at Christie's with, what's his name? Beeple? Is that his name? That's the artist's name. We'll look into it. There's a lot of hoopla right now, so I'm sort of waiting for the dust to settle a little bit. All right, guys, please join me in the Art Prof Discord. I will be in the Art Alongs channel. The Discord invite link, it's in the YouTube video description below. Subscribe to our channel so you guys can continue to grow and develop as an artist. And a big thank you to our top Patreon supporters. You guys are helping us keep Art Prof up and running and making sure that our content is always 100% free and accessible to everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you next time.